Alright guys, welcome to Friday Night Magic at Four Horsemen Comics. I'm Ryan O'Loughlin. With me is
Dana D'Amato, and we are here to cover Friday Night Magic, our modern FNM.
Yep, we've got Patrick Williams on the right. He's playing Grixis Control versus Seth Davis on the left. He's playing 8-Rack, which if you're unfamiliar with 8-Rack, it's a usually mono-black deck that revolves around discard. Sometimes it has various color splashes. Looks like Seth's playing white in his.
So what we just saw there was a smallpox resolution.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, smallpox says each player, I believe, sacks a land, a creature, and an artifact, or just loses one life.
Each land, it's creature, artifact, land
and lose one life.
Yes,
yeah.
I believe.
So it looks like there is. Looks like Seth has revealed 2 copies of. Oh, maybe the rack are in play already.
He has 2 of the rack in play currently.
Yeah, so Patrick's down to 16. The rack's sort of a clock itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm bringing up the text. I'm going to read it for you guys.
It was recently. No, that's not the card that was recently unbanned. Black Vise.
Black Vice was recently unbanned. So the rack is an artifact for 1 generic mana. As the rack enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. At the beginning of the chosen opponent's upkeep, the rack does X damage to that player, where X is 3 minus the number of cards in his or her hand.
Yep. So there's a. That's a pretty good clock there. It looks like Seth just retraced a Raven's Crime. Cool mechanic, retrace. It doesn't really show up at least modern here very often.
Raven's Crime is really the only card that I can think of ever really getting played.
There was the Flame Jab Jeskai Ascendancy list, but that kind of fell off.
And before that, Flame Jab got played in the not Sulfuric Vortex, the discard Seismic Assault.
Seismic Assault.
It used to get played in the Seismic Assault deck.
So Patrick's dice seems to be a little bit off screen, but we'll see if that doesn't get changed here in a second. But we are going to see a Tasigur from Patrick, trying to hopefully apply a quicker clock to Seth.
Currently, it's not a very fast clock. 5 turns, as it is.
Yeah, and there you go. Patrick just really wanted to get his hand empty.
I'm going to go ahead and move Patrick's dice, because life total is pretty key in this matchup.
Yes, it is. So, let's see. Seth is just going to play. It's like another enchantment. And that will be game, it looks like. So, it looks like Seth Davis is going to take game 1 over Patrick Williams on 8-Rack. So it looks like going to sideboard here. Seth's really evaluating what he wants to bring in. Looks like he's looking at Grafdigger's Cage. Looks like he's got some copies of Death Shadow in his list.
Yes, he has a post-sideboard plan of Death Shadows. And against the Jund Death Shadow deck, he has Funeral Charms to give his Death Shadow Swamp Walk.
That's awesome. So I was just commenting, I'm pretty positive Seth did take game 1 there, I'm assuming.
As soon as I stepped in to the feature match area, Patrick scooped up his cards, and without thinking, I just went, "What happened?" He's like, "I died to the rack."
We were up here, and then the rack is just such a quick clock.
Yeah, especially if you don't really have any answers to it. Like maybe Patrick had Culligan's Command in his deck. Maybe.
Right. So, trying to get a glimpse at Patrick's sideboard here, I was looking at some cards he could bring in to try to even this clock. I think he brought in a Keranos for this matchup.
Right.
Just to see if things get grindy, Keranos can help him win that race.
They can be slow games, and Keranos is at his best in slow matchups.
Right. Now, do you think it's a little busted that the rack only costs 1 mana?
A little bit. I think it's not as bad that Abrupt Decay is in the format.
Right.
But Abrupt Decay is much less played in Modern than it is in, say, Legacy.
Right. And I think Seth made a very solid choice in terms of decks tonight. Because with the amount of Death Shadow potentially in the room, they emptied their hand so fast and get their life total so low, he could just go like, all right, cool, play the rack, and you just die on your upkeep.
Yeah. I could definitely see that happening at some point tonight.
That is what I want to see tonight. I want to see Seth Davis go 4-0 with 8-Rack tonight.
He also, this might be a good choice for our particular meta because we don't really have anybody that plays Affinity.
That's also true.
So I know like some people do skimp on their Artifact Hate in their sideboards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't because I try to build a list that I would want to take anywhere.
Right.
Generally speaking.
No matter what colors I'm in, I usually always have one card to deal with artifacts.
Right.
Like the list I got built now, like I'm in Bug, so Creep and Corrosion's my go-to.
Oh yeah.
And then like when I was playing Ad Nauseam, I didn't really want to get rid of artifacts in that deck, but I would run sometimes like mess around with like Wear and Tear to take care of my opponent's stuff. But I was more for the enchantments that just mess my day up.
Now you could cast the first half off of Spirit Guides and
That's
Gemstone
true.
Mines and. All right,
So we're gonna get a fetch and I believe a shock.
Yep, Patrick's on the play. He's gonna fetch Scalding Tarn into Steam Vents, OG Steam Vents.
So people were really excited that fetch lands were printed in Modern Masters 3, but you know what I noticed? They're already going back up.
Yeah, they are. Well, I think part of it's demand. It's now people are opening them. They want their sets. Like somebody who never thought about owning Scalding Tarns, all of a sudden they open one Scalding Tarn and they're like,
Right.
well, now I got to buy 3 more.
Exactly.
That's what originally happened with Tarmogoyfs in the first Modern Masters. That's why the price went up with the reprint.
So there's Raven's Crime from Seth. So do you think we're going to see what happens usually on the SCG streams, and that is the Grixis control player dies before Ancestral Vision resolves?
Possibly. Maybe. I don't think he's going to die quite that quickly.
But potentially be close.
All right, so this is Wrenched Mine. It's a black. Target opponent discards 2 cards unless they discard an artifact. So it's sort of like a hymn.
And this looks like, it's immediately getting a fetch and shock out of Patrick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, potential hymn to Turok's.
It's good.
Yes.
It's good.
So that's also brings up another card that you may see in the Death Shadow list coming up is Whispers of Emrakul.
I don't know.
That is
one.
1 in a black,
Uh-huh.
and it says target player discards 2 cards, I believe. No, target player discards, I think it's 1 or 2 cards, but it has Delirium if they discard those cards at random.
Ooh. Yeah, okay, I do remember seeing that card in
Yeah.
the spoiler. All right, Serum Visions for Patrick.
Basic Island, being able to conserve life a little bit. Looking at Seth's hand, it's a little land heavy, but he also just won game 1 out of nowhere, so we'll see what happens here.
He drew his Sulphur Falls, and then it was a land and a spell, and I think he put the land on bottom.
So let's see what we got. There's a Swamp. I believe that's a Smallpox potentially. It looks like Thoughtseize, maybe another Wrench Mine.
So he's going to start with the Thoughtseize, and Patrick's going to reveal...
Culligan's Command and 2 lands.
So that's fine. Like, Culligan's Command is definitely something you want to take, so now he can play the rack in his hand.
Oh, absolutely.
So...
There's the Retrace of Grave.
Yeah, make him discard one of the lands. And now he's going to play the rack.
This deck is just... Like, see, if Seth wanted to there, he's like, all right, cool. Discard the 2 lands in my hand. Let's just get rid of your whole hand this turn.
Yeah, he could have. All right, so Pat's down to 12.
So here comes the rule, though. He has 1 card in hand. The Ancestral Vision will resolve, but has he lost this game? So Patrick already down to 12.
Okay, so here's
There's a Smallpox. Good. It's just... There's a Snapcaster.
He may just be... Or no,
He's
he has
got
Counter
Countersquall.
Squall. Okay, so Seth will...
Not a bad target.
Lose 2 life. No, that's pretty good.
The Snapcaster can apply a little bit of pressure here, but yeah, Smallpox definitely a good one to counter.
Losing your lands is
But Patrick is hellbent, and we have a rack in play.
Yeah, he is. That's a fast clock.
And unfortunately, I believe they can stack. The rack's gonna. Well, actually, no.
The rack. So the rack will go on top of the visions.
Right. So there we go. Patrick is gonna go down to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets to draw his cards.
Yep.
So if I'm Patrick, do I just hold my hand here?
I don't know.
You're on the threshold.
I don't know. He has a Cryptic Command. He could bounce the rack at the end of Seth's turn.
That is true. And not to mention if he could go bounce, draw, and draw into another Cryptic to be able to counter it when it comes down. He could try to...
Or he's almost at the point where he can snap Cryptic.
Right.
And he is looking at a Snapcaster Mage right now off that series.
And I think he wants to keep it really badly.
Yeah, and I think he has another land in his hand, so as long as Seth doesn't cast a Smallpox. Although, if he does cast Smallpox, he can Cryptic counter that, bounce the rack.
That would be a really solid turn for him.
Or potentially bounce the rack at the end of Seth's turn and then counter it with Snapcaster Cryptic when it comes back.
Right.
But still, that's 6 mana to counter a 1 mana spell.
But I mean, if I'm Seth, I'm just going to retrace Raven's Crime over and over again, aren't I?
Yeah, which is what he's doing.
It's like, by all means, Cryptic it. I'm just going to do it again.
Yeah, and...
So, you know what's cool? The rack would love to get mana flooded. It doesn't care.
No, it doesn't, as long as it has Raven's Crime.
Ravens Crime and Modern Masters saw a lot of limited play, not really any modern play, but Seth Davis is showing his true color.
Here's a smallpox.
And then,
Colgan's command. Okay, so blow up the rack.
And looks like he's going to
discard
a card,
a dismember.
Oh, that's fine, though. That's going to drop Patrick down to 8.
Yeah, and he's going to lose his clock in the Snapcaster Mage.
And that's going to drop Seth down to 11.
I'm not sure Seth has much in his deck that cost more than 2, aside from maybe Ensnaring Bridge.
I feel like this could just top deck good now, right? What are we going to cast? Probably the Snapcaster?
Yeah, just cast in response. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if the Snapcaster is good enough to get there. Because what's funny is if Seth top decks a rack, it's still a quicker clock.
Yeah. All right.
That's something very rarely can happen.
All right, so Seth's down to 9.
Yep.
Untap. He drew a spell.
It's
in a small box.
All right, both players draining 1 down to 8 and 7.
Pat does have an Ancestral Visions ticking
now, will
down.
he die before this one comes into play?
Maybe. I bet it's a 2-mana spell. No, it's a Funeral Charm, and he can cast it in Pat's upkeep to make him discard. Oh, but he drew a Snapcaster.
Oh man! You know, these two players are just having fun down there. He's like, yeah, I'll Snapcaster, and I will.
I think Funeral. What's unfortunate for Seth is that Funeral Charm has a mode that could have killed Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah.
I think it has a -2/-1 mode.
But I guess Patrick does have the option though to say, okay, what mode do you want to choose?
Yeah.
I'll cast my Snapcaster in response.
Well, I mean, if he had just held it instead of not
right.
casting.
And there's Raven's Crime.
Yep.
That's gonna take care. I think it's gonna bolt Seth, unfortunately.
Yeah, Seth down to 5.
Will Seth top deck something to do with the Snapcaster Mage?
I kind of want to see a game 3 here because I'm enjoying this matchup.
There is Seth down to 3.
Here's another. Is that all 4 snaps? Okay, and we're on to game 3. Patrick Williams has managed to tie this up.
This is definitely a game of spells.
Yeah, lots of spells and 4 Snapcaster
Who can
Mages.
play something more powerful?
Yeah, this was a good choice.
I'm actually really happy we won with this.
Yeah, for sure.
Anytime I eight racks in the room, I'm always like a little interested to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So if I was playing Ad Nauseam and I heard there was 8 rack in the room, I'd be terrified.
I don't think we've had anybody play it since Chris Carey played it years ago.
Oh, it was a while ago.
Yeah, before he built Jund. We have a good turnout tonight. We have 26 players here for our Modern FNM. We're also giving away a free entry to one of our lucky FNM players to our event tomorrow. We have a Grand Prix trial for GP Richmond tomorrow at noon. It is only $10 to play, and we do have cash prizes. And the winner, of course, will get a 2-round bye to Grand Prix Richmond, which is in May.
It is the first weekend of May, and that is a limited GP. It will be Amonkhet sealed.
Yep. So
I will be there.
Definitely a great event to come out for, both our GPT and the event itself.
Forgot that 8 rack likes to be on the draw.
Yeah, it does. All right, so...
Oh, turn 1 rack. Got him. Oh, another one hand, too. This is going to be a cool game.
Yeah, he's got 2 with the fast clock. All right, so just a
Tarp
Tarp and go.
Oh, man. Seth's going to prey on this hand, I feel like. Now, do you go for the second rack here, or you go for this, the discard 2 cards hand?
I don't know.
Because do you think he has Spell Snare here?
Probably not.
So, yeah, he has to
it looks like he does.
Yep,
No,
yeah,
okay.
you have to go for... Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid choice. It's like, all right, if you have Spell Snare, great. If not, I'm going to punish you.
If you have the choice to him your opponent or not him your opponent, you should probably him your opponent.
I agree. And follow it up with a rack here.
Yeah.
Oh, Smallpox. Okay, a Smallpox you, then play my second rack.
He also has a Dismember that's a Stone Rain for that tar pit.
He needs... This is just... I love it. Yeah. Let's go. Now, if I'm Seth, I sack the Urborg, right?
Yeah, because you don't want him to have to get to tap that Tarn.
Not have to fetch. Yeah, not have to fetch his Tarn. Yeah, so there goes the island, and I believe let's see what Seth sacks.
He's still thinking about it. He's thinking about what he's going to discard a.
Oh, that's right. Each player has to discard a card.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Oh, and sack the Urborg. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see if looks like Seth's just going to pass the turn and see if the 1 rack is good enough right now, which I like that.
Yep.
Don't get blown out by a complete artifact removal. Like, I don't know, does Patrick have anything that can wipe the board of artifacts?
Not that I'm aware of.
Like,
the only thing he could have is Shatterstorm.
Yeah, Shatterstorm or Shattering Spree, right?
Yeah, which I I probably wouldn't play around that, but I'm greedy.
I could see a Shattering Spree, but not a Shatterstorm.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like a Shatterstorm deck.
Oh, let's shock. Let's do this. You got a Culligan's Command? Because that makes sense. I want to see a counterspell come out of nowhere out of Seth's deck. Oh, Funeral Charm. Here's another one.
Yep. And just throwing this Funeral Charm in here. Nope. What? Oh, that's the. It's kind of like his second. I'm gonna get the text on that card. I'll be right back. I can't remember what it's called. It's real mean.
It looks mean. I think it's what got him game 1. So Ancestral Vision's going to resolve, drawing Pat a lot of cards. When there's a Tasigur. Hopefully trying to do something about this clock. Ryan is headed downstairs to figure out what this lovely enchantment is in play for you guys. If you're just tuning in, you're watching 8-Rack versus Grixis Control. We are in round 1 of our modern FNM. So Seth's going to draw. Looks like he has access to a Smallpox, a Swamp, and a Funeral Charm in hand. There's a Raven's Crime. Make our opponent discard a card.
So that is Shrieking Afflictions.
1
black for an enchantment. At your opponent's upkeep, if they have 1 card in hand, they lose 3 life.
And let's just go ahead and pay for and dismember the Tasigur. Seems okay with me.
Bye, Banana Man.
I don't mind going to 15 to make my opponent potentially lose.
Nor do I.
Alright, there's a Delta. So you know what card that I think I'm surprised hasn't been messed around with 8-Rack yet? And that's Waste Not. The community card generated. Because think about it, when you discard your land to retrace the Raven's Crime, you also get to get 2 black mana because you discarded a land card.
Yeah, and whenever
Smallpox.
Whenever the Smallpox kill their Snapcaster Mage, you get a zombie token. Or no, whenever they discard a creature token, they get a zombie token.
Right, so your opponent's, whenever your opponent does that. So yeah.
I guess the issue is it doesn't actually make them discard, it just gets value.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it is really solid, though, I think, against the creature decks, to where it's like, alright, cool, do the hymn to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you discard 2 creatures, alright, cool, I get 2 zombies.
Maybe, and also the issue is like, you have to already have it in play. So in turn 2, when you want to cast that hymn, it's not going to, you either have to cast it a turn later. I don't know. Maybe it could be like a sideboard card for like the grindier matchups.
Right. So Snapcaster meta Bolt. So we're going to see who's quicker, Snapcaster or Rack. And Patter's like, I'm going to hold on to all my cards. Thank you.
Yeah. That's bad when you're in a matchup where it rewards you for not casting spells.
So I think Patrick can start getting ahead here. He does have a Cryptic Command.
He's going to fetch.
Yep, so Seth is down to 10 because of the attack. Shock and a Blood Crypt.
I think, so if Patrick went down to 1 card, he'd be dead at 1 upkeep.
Yep. And let's see. So with Cryptic in hand and Keranos too, Snapcaster as well.
Maybe Keranos is too slow for this matchup.
It almost seems like it is. There's Thoughtseize. Here's Cryptic.
Counter.
Bounce Rack.
I guess you have. No, he's gonna draw because you can't bounce them both.
Oh yeah, it's on your own. It's still Seth's turn too, anyways.
Yeah, he could have recast it. That's true. And he has plenty of cards in hand anyway.
Yep. So there's Serum Visions.
Yep. Draw a bolt. It looks like.
So it's like Grixis may be able to pull this one out, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think he put a Tasigur on top of his deck.
So still not enough mana in order for a Snap Cryptic, but we got another Bolt in hand. There's Ancestral Vision.
Yeah, he's doing a good job keeping his hand full of cards.
But a hymn here is deadly.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
all right, so
we're gonna retrace. That'll help out a little bit.
Discard
Keranos?
Probably Keranos, yeah, because
I think you want to bolt at the end of turn here and be able to snap bolt.
You know, he may have kept. He may have brought Keranos in because it draws you an extra card.
Yeah, that is true to keep the hand up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 8-8. So I mean, literally, a land is a good top deck for Seth.
Yeah.
Oh, Inquisition. I'll take care of one of them, unless he wants to cast. But I think
he has to cast it, so it gets it out of his hand.
All right.
So now he has 1 card in hand, which means those Shrieking Afflictions are going to trigger.
Yep, and not to mention I think he's going to target Bolt with the Snapcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so set this down to 5.
So he's going to trigger both Shrieking Afflictions, and those racks are going to trigger because he only has 1 card in hand. Patrick might be dead.
That's what I think they're trying to figure out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He got it.
Seth, by the skin of his teeth, against two Tiago Chans against every Tiago Chan in the world. Seth Davis takes this match 2-1.
I have seen a Inquisition of Costlake be very good on